It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. They are thankful for many things this year and every year, and hope that everyone is able to enjoy time with family and friends during this joyful celebration. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to a National Signing Day, early National Signing Day edition of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman, soon to be joined by my partner, Mr. Erick Strickland. He is in the house. You heard him there on the crossover, but this is On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. They are open today. Check them out at 29th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. They're open today. They're open tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. I believe Saturday. I forget the exact Mary Ellen schedule, but yeah, they're open Saturday. Stricky says he's in the building as we get going here during On the Block. It is early National Signing Day. This show brought to you by Mary Ellen's, like I just said, but our coverage of early National Signing Day sponsored by our friends at Members Own Credit Union. You can set the stage for success by getting a rewards credit card with low rates and dazzling member services. Members Own Credit Union has locations in both Lincoln and Beatrice. You can learn more at membersowncu.org. Plenty to get to on the Nebraska football front. Text line, I think the question of the day is, outside of Dylan Raiola, probably, and even outside of the in-state guys, right? Because we've talked a lot about them. Who's a prospect you're watching? Who's a guy that you have your eyes on? Let us know, 402-464-5685, or on the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all up and running for you there. But Stricky, before we get into a lot of National Signing Day talk, I think it's interesting news from the NFL. You saw Philadelphia lose 20-17 to the Seahawks. Ooh. Both teams had plenty of quarterback questions. This would have been on Monday Night Football. We didn't get a chance to get to it yesterday, but Drew Lock got the start in place of Geno Smith. His post-game interview was great. I mean, Drew Lock has bounced around the league a little bit, been the guy, not been the guy. Here's what he had to say in his post-game interview after Monday Night Football, throwing the walk-off touchdown. There's a lot in there, Strick. We talk about the human element on this show a lot. Yeah. Drew Lock really embodied that right there. The ups and downs of being that kind of 1B quarterback in the backup, but 1B this week with Geno Smith in the lineup, that out of the lineup. You can hear the uncertainty in his voice. You can hear the questioning, do I still got it, in my voice, which you would know better than anyone. The questions that go through your mind as a pro, you get moved to the bench, then you're in the starting lineup. What goes into that? So when you hear that post-game interview from Drew Lock, what goes through your mind?
Well, I mean, what you said about the human element, one of the things I have to say is that sometimes it's not even in your control. Sometimes there's other outside factors that become a part of the issue as to why you're not playing. It's not necessarily that you're not good enough or you're not relevant anymore or any of that. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes coaches have preferences. This is why I talk about my understanding of like the transfer portal, for instance. When a new coach comes, he comes with not just himself, but other coaches that are going to be coaching you in the room, and a lot of them that don't know anything about you. This is why sometimes it can become an issue of you going somewhere, and then if there's nothing not promised to you, then you have to go and fight for something with somebody who's been there. This is why you have to do more than just diligence about where the school is, what the you have to look into the situation. You have to look into what's there, what's leaving, how do they feel about you. You need to ask questions, like real in-depth questions. Because if you just go just on a whim and a prayer, and I'm not talking John Bon Jovi, if you just kind of go on that method, then you can lose. But it can happen on the professional level in that situation, circumstance, sometimes a trade, sometimes a free agency to a new place, sometimes a change of a coach. Sometimes the same things happen there, just at a different level. It's more about business. And you can hear that in him, where whatever the circumstance was with him, you talked about the rally point of those believing in him, rallying behind him, and helping him through a challenging moment in his life, and he was game for it. And that's the other part of it. You got to be prepared, because when the opportunity presents itself, if you're not prepared for the moment, then you'll continually fall into oblivion of those, because it's really about gaining trust.
Drew Lock didn't play an elite game by any means. 22 of 33 for 208 through the air. That one touchdown was it. Took a couple sacks. Kenneth Walker, his running back, was the best player in that game. Philly's been living on the edge quite a bit, not nearly as good as they were last year. Plenty to figure out. But Drew Lock had a moment and took advantage of the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Geno Smith had his moment last year, right? They wrote him off. He didn't write back. You had that great story with Geno Smith and everything going on up there last year. Geno comes into this year. It's been fine, a step down from last year, but he's out. And then he's back. And then he's back again. And then he's out.
Is this still with that injury that he sustained in the game? I can't remember exactly which game it was.
A couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago now. Right. But the career arc of Drew Lock, where, not the highest drafted guy, but still thought of pretty well, kind of under the radar guy, bounced around with the Broncos, had some moments here and there. Lane's in Seattle. He's an afterthought. He's a backup. You still see the talent. But some of the questions about Drew Lock were the maturity, right? You see him dancing on the sideline and rapping and singing. It looks like he's having a good time, which is fine, but he doesn't always deliver when he gets out there to play. So to go from, I don't say immature, right? But that vibe on the sideline of, he's just here to have a good time, to hear that emotion, it feels like it hit Drew Lock for the first time. Like, this is the business of the NFL. Like, this is how close I am to this game being taken away from me. I didn't have any choice but to come out here and do the best, and I couldn't have done it on my own.
Absolutely. And it does. It takes a community. It takes a village. It takes a team. Like I tell people all the time, Austin, there are a lot of guys in the NBA that can actually be stars, right? Once you're given the star, then you have to live up to the expectations that come with that. For example, just look at Jordan Poole. Right now, right? When that star and that spotlight shining on you on that stage, and you're not a background dancer anymore. You're now the lead. You're the lead actor, you're the lead dancer, whatever the case may be, that spotlight is on you, and they're looking at you to perform. Yes, it's good to catch the outside stuff, but they're looking at you. And so a lot of guys, I say, can be that, but it takes the coach. It takes the organization. It takes those to get behind you. Once they get behind you, this is how Gilbert Arenas was born. You know what I'm saying? Gilbert Arenas Gilbert was a great player. He's one of the best on that Arizona team. He was probably the best on that Arizona team. But for whatever reason, a lot of people got off him, ends up being a second round pick, gets to an organization Could have got to an organization where they didn't really feel him, believe in him. Yeah, they liked him, but boom, he arrives. And coach, organization believed in him, wanted him, and he begins to thrive in it. Same thing with me. Don Nelson, he's the one that believed. He's the one that believed, and you go to other places and you go to other organizations, and for whatever reason, some coaches may not like you and some do. You know what I mean? So it just depends on where you're at. Go to Boston, coach believes in you. And you can thrive in that environment. But when they don't, that's where your mentals have to really take over. Your mental space has to be different. You have to be built different to be able to overcome it, because you got to be internal in that, because your teammates are trying to win just like you are. They're worried about their own situations, and they can't be worried about you. So you got to really internalize that yourself and look inwardly for your inspiration.
I think that's a great message to take into this early National Signing Day. Again, we'll talk plenty more about this in hour 2 of the show and with Evan Bland here in about 10, 15 minutes or so. But Strick, Matt Rule believes in his roster. You heard that when he came in last year. It was none of the previous staff's guys or your guys that were here before. We got to get my guys in. There was none of that for Matt Rule. If you're on the team, you're one of my guys. He said not just once, but has repeated that mantra. I think that's a reason that not a lot of guys have left Nebraska to go into the transfer portal, because I truly believe that Matt Rule believes he can get the best out of these players and has their best interest in mind. As a player, I think there's an interesting, weighting going on between how much do I want to stick with a coach that knows my name, that greets me every time he sees me, and that believes in me. I know I could grow and develop here, but I think I can get on the field and still develop somewhere else. Like, it'd be hard to walk away from a situation where, you have a coach that actually has that positive, belief in you, but it'd be hard to turn down an opportunity to play at the same time.
Yeah, there's no question. That's definitely it's a hard, but I think one of the best things about what Matt Rule does is he's not selling you a bill of goods. He's going to probably tell you like it is. This is probably why Casey Thompson's not here. He probably told him, here's what my expectation is. I like you. I don't want you to be here and not thrive and have success. You might want to look somewhere else. And I can't even vouch and say that he said that, but I believe just if you can kind of infer, you can kind of look into the situation and see that's possibly how it went down. Now, I will say that you're absolutely right, but here's the scary part, and this is the part I feel. When you look at like those FCS and when you look at like those group of 5 schools that are raising talent and they're getting them to thrive and they're getting the best out of them because they trained them right, right? Now, there's 2 parts to that. There's one, I feel for the coaches because they're doing their job and they got their players to where they are. But then I also feel for the player because sometimes the coach does his job, gets a better job, and bounces on the players. And then the players are kind of unstuck. So this is why I kind of like the transfer portal, because coaches, they look upward bound too. So why can't I also look for upward movement? So that's the ultimate dilemma that you find yourselves in when you're dealing sometimes in these situations. But I've got to commend Coach Rule and his staff for having pretty good retention, and that means there's a good message. There's something that's being sold, and it's not a bill of goods. It's not what some coaches can be, and that's snake oil salesman.
And I think that having that reinforcement to that message helps in recruiting, because we've seen other staffs at Nebraska and other places just throw out wide nets of offers. You get an offer, Oprah Winfrey, Halloween candy style. I think that it would be more impactful to get an offer from Nebraska and this current staff, because they're not handing them out like candy, because they take their time to do their work. They'll dig for the under the radar gems. They have to polish a little bit. So if I'm a recruit, if I'm a guy in the transfer portal, I know Nebraska is not reaching out to just anyone, but they truly see something in me. And that's why they're reaching out to me. They're not just going for, best available. Oh, here's a name. They're digging into the transfer portal. They're digging into every state that they set foot in to mine for that hidden talent. So I feel like a Nebraska offer now carries more weight than maybe it has in years past.
Well, I could say probably at this time better than any, but I also will say I think that Nebraska is truly a place that if you build it, it won't be that they'll come, they'll stay. Feel me? Field of Dreams says if you build it, they'll come. I think Nebraska is built that if you build it, they'll stay. Meaning there's so many positives and goods about what Nebraska is, not only as a state, as a fan base, as a providing you with all the tools that are necessary to have you to thrive and be the best, weight program, all of that stuff. I think they have it. It's just you've got to build it. And I think that's what I love about what I talked about the Jenga, what I talked about the foundation. I love and appreciate the foundation that he's building and also the messaging. And so the messaging isn't trying to sell me a dream. The message is I'm trying to sell you to arrive at your dreams, to get to where you're wanting to go. And we want to be a part of that process of helping you to get there. And I could tell that's probably a lot of what the messaging is.
That's good stuff. And that's a subtle shift, but it's a meaningful shift in the messaging, I think. Again, if you're on the text line 402-464-5685, we're looking for your under the radar players. Not the ones in state that we talk so much about, not the 5-star quarterback, but we have a handful of responses already. So keep them coming. We'll get to those. But before we go to Evan Bland here, Strick, 3834 on our Starter Heyman text line says, come on, Strick, the portal is being abused by players. Coaches move on every 4 to 5 years, roughly, but it's not every season. Not coaching at 2 or 3 schools in 5 years. Maybe.
Just the cycle's different.
The cycles are different. And here's the thing.
I mean, because
it's
coaches
unpredictable
can coach
for
for 20 years. Players can't play for 20 years.
So
yeah, I get it. Yeah, but the cycle's different. Your life cycle in this space is shrunk into 4 or 5 years at
blink
max.
Of an eye.
6 if you're lucky, by way of injury or whatever the case may be. But coaches coach 20 plus years and so forth and so on. So yeah, they may be at a school for 4 to 6 years or 10 years or 8 years or whatever the case may be. If they're not doing well, maybe 3. But what I'm saying is, understand what I'm saying is a coach. I'm not talking about Power 5 super conference coaches. I'm talking about an FCS. I'm talking about, a Tulane, because guess what? You build up a Western Kentucky, you build up a Toledo, you build up a Buffalo, you build it up in 2 years, and you're knocking off a couple of Power 5 schools, and guess who's calling?
SEC.
Next
Big
level
10.
up. And you're gone. So I don't want to hear that part. That's cap to me. And so look, but I understand what he's saying though too.
Right.
I get it. I think it's being abused. But I also say I'm not one to just stick my side on one side of the fence and just be like, yeah, that other side doesn't mean anything. No, I mean, I think the other side has some points to it. And I'm not talking about just now in the immediate. I'm talking about in the past. I'm talking about in the past. Even when I was playing. Let's go back to there. Just all of the coaches that had benefited from the work or the time and the efforts that you put on the court, and then all of a sudden they bounce. And you're stuck. Guess what? You were stuck for if you go in conference, you're stuck 2 years.
Right.
You had to go outside maybe of your comfort zone area, and then you still had to sit a year. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I'm understanding why players are the way they are.
Right. It affects coaches and players differently. It affects different levels differently. And you have to deal with those realities as they come. But it's also to say that both sides have their pros and cons. Both sides, have the business aspects of it. But that's, again, where I think that as much as Matt Rule and the staff understand the business, I mean, you hear the, $1 to $2 million comment from Matt Rule. They understand the business. They know that they have to swim in those waters. But it sounds to me, Strick, like Nebraska doesn't want to be defined by the business, even if they do have to do business.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's unfortunate that that's the way it is now. It's just part of the plan. Shout out to Derek in a car. He says my sleeper on the Sutter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. You guys always keep it coming. Jordan P also is in the same vein, talking about Neil Smith's son. He says my sleeper is Neil Smith's son, kid legacy player from Missouri, who I think is a late bloomer in high school, and we're going to get him just at the right time. I would hope he turns out to be like an Ndamukong Suh type, where he came under the radar. I'm not saying him be Ndamukong Suh, but I'm saying he came up under the radar, stayed with him, and then he ends up becoming a perennial superstar and great NFL legacy. You know what I mean? While he was here. So this is where I can think the plan of what Rule's trying to put together can work. If you can just continue to be vigilant in finding, seeking, really looking into not just the physical tools, but just the intangible tools as well. Just the little things that maybe don't show up necessarily, but they've got something in them, or they're built different, or their mental space is different. So if you can find that and have the time to do it, I think you should go for it.
Agree 100%. Let's take a break. Let's welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald when we get back. We'll keep talking about National Signing Day. Keep those comments and thoughts coming. Who are the players from outside the state of Nebraska and outside of Dylan Raiola that you're interested in seeing? Who are you glad Nebraska got? 402-464-5685, as well as the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams. Big thank you to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring our show, and Members Owned Credit Union for sponsoring all our coverage of the early National Signing Day. Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald joins us next.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
When we're building homes for people, we're really trying to advise on the things that are going to create value so that when they go to sell it, they're going to have equity so that they can go build their second home.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
You know, the year has been a great year for Aspen Builders. We have had many repeat customers. We've been very blessed with great office staff, with great employees, and great subcontractors. We worked with a lot of new people building their dream home. We've built some great relationships. A lot of those relationships will continue. We'll be building them another new home down the road. So I'd like to take this time to wish all of our past customers and our future customers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer. Usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. Keep posted to the Mercado's social media pages for specific daily deals from now all the way through Christmas Eve on December 24th. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and a high of around 49. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies continue. We'll see a low around 37. And tomorrow, more patchy fog in the morning, then mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day. Sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's get into it, not waste any time with our guest on the Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We bring in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald with us here again on that Allo VIP line. Evan, how are you, my friend?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up?
Great. It's early National Signing Day. We can't complain. Evan, I'm going to assume you're at the press conference, and the whole press conference was basically just Matt Rule's opening statement. Like, that was a full presser length, deal in and of itself without even a question being asked. What do you take away from Matt Rule's 15-minute opening statement?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of gratitude for sure. You're not going to talk for 10, 15 minutes if you didn't feel that way about everything from the legacy prospects and the former players to the athletic department to the parents who put their trust in them to the staffers, both on field and behind the scenes. It kind of takes a village, right? And it kind of comes to a head on a day like this when you have guys making decisions on the day of and flipping and you're seeing other guys through that committed maybe in the summer all the way to the end. And you could kind of tell in his voice, he was hoarse, right? From doing a lot of talking. And there's kind of that glow of this was a job well done. And not every signing day always comes with that. And obviously Dylan Raiola is a big part of that, but they were successful with 3 day of decisions from talented Miami players. They get Bly Hill out of the transfer portal, who they're pretty excited about. And so it was a class that they put a lot of it together in the summer, and then they closed strong and were able to add some pretty transformational players like Raiola and Carter Nelson in the mix too. So I think there's a recognition that, he did a lot of work, and the program, has a vision that it can sell, and that guys, understand and grasp onto, but that there were also a lot of people behind the scenes that helped make it happen.
It's a big class for Nebraska. You mentioned the 3 guys that have made their decisions today, adding to an already pretty full class. I was of the impression and the opinion that the staff putting together the class that they did in their month and change last year before the early signing day was impressive. But I think this class at least tells me a little bit more about the vision that Matt Rule and his coaching staff have for this program. What are your takeaways about this class, and what does it tell you about the staff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different sort of vibe, right? Like a year ago, Matt Rule had been on campus for a month. He was learning the roster. They're adding, I think it was 11 transfers just in the first window that we've just seen, compared to 1 this year. So last year was about filling holes and kind of figuring some things out, getting ready for that first year. This year was a lot different. This is entirely Matt Rule's class. There are no holdover commits in this group that he had to re-recruit or reconvince. These are guys that Matt Rule and his staff built relationships with, that they identified, that they, in most cases, got commitments from many months ago, 5, 6, 7 months ago, and they've been solid to the end. And so I think you see this a lot in college football, where you have a new coach come in, and typically that first class is sort of a scramble, but then you have that sort of that changing of the guard sort of class in the next year, where you can still sell vision and hope and what is going to be, but you've also been around long enough to kind of know what you want to do, and you've gotten familiar with your surroundings and what it takes to win in your respective conference or whatever. And I think that's where this group is right now. I think, a year in the Big Ten and a year in Lincoln, Nebraska has Matt Rule with a defined idea of what it's going to take to win. I think they went out and addressed a lot of that in terms of especially the offensive linemen, the skill positions. Again, obviously at the quarterback spot, where not just Raiola, but Daniel Kalen's a pretty darn good quarterback prospect in his own right. So I think they addressed a lot of immediate issues, while at the same time bringing in some guys that they feel like they can mold for a year or two behind the scenes and turn into pretty good players.
Well, speaking of linemen, you said that the addressing of the line, we know we got Grant Bricks. And a lot of people are high on him being in state, so forth and so on. We know what all transpired with that. But Eric Case on the stream, a Facebook stream, he says, I've been watching film on Jake Peters. I wanted to throw this out to you because we appreciate our listeners, and sometimes we have guys like yourself with the expertise that you have. We'd love to get the answer. He says, I was watching film on Jake Peters. He said the kid may be the best lineman in the group that they brought in. What say you to that potentially?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can absolutely make that case. And sometimes when you get to signing day, like a lot of the attention goes to maybe the newer commits or some of the headliners in terms of the stars that are next to their names. But quite often, and Jake Peters is a great example of this, you get a guy who commits earlier in the process, quietly has a big senior year, and sort of, you don't want to say gets taken for granted, but sort of blends in with the rest of the class and all the other moving pieces that occur. And so, yeah, I think Peters is a really interesting prospect, and one piece of growing evidence that Donovan Raiola can do some recruiting. I mean, and with him and with Bricks and a number of other signings they had, even a guy like Ian Flint, who's coming in as a tight end, I think could possibly be an offensive lineman down the road. So Peters, yeah, he could be one of those unsung members of this class. He's from Cedar Falls, Iowa, so I'm sure he's close to the heart of Trev Alberts, the AD who once terrorized quarterbacks out that way. So I think it speaks to the depth of this class, where you have some of your obvious headliners, but you also have some talent, again, I think, on the line. And to me too, like it's a testament to how far this group has come in terms of depth, because there's not talk about a guy like that or a guy like Bricks having to come in and step in and start or play meaningful snaps as a freshman. Like there's the luxury of them being able to develop behind the scenes. You think about guys that are already in the system, like Sam Sledge or Gunnar Gatula, and some of the other younger guys playing like Teddy Prohaska. And that's a group that's in a great spot right now. And I think, again, the guys that you see coming into this class will probably be part of the mix when you start talking about what the line will look like in 2025 and beyond.
Evan, I think there are two groups of players that Nebraska fans love talking about more than any others, and that's Nebraska legacies and in-state players. Let's start with the legacies. Just how important was it for Nebraska to get not just any, sons of former players, but the ones they did when you look at, Raiola and Benning, Keelan Smith, Quinn Clark, even Camden Cook to some degree?
Right. I mean, it's great. It's huge because, I think especially in the era that we're in now, where every year you have to re-recruit your own roster, and guys can transfer and they can do whatever. And the guys that you just mentioned, the in-state guys and the legacy guys, are the ones that typically have the most investment to where they are. And so, I mean, it's not to say that a guy like Dylan Raiola couldn't transfer in a year or two, whatever. But like when you say the things that he said about having his name etched on the wall at Memorial Stadium and wants to be something different than a cog in a powerhouse machine, and kind of write his own story. Like, that's powerful stuff. And I think it would take a lot for a guy to pull away from that after he makes the kind of commitment that he did. So, I think we're seeing it in general in this program. Like, players want to be at Nebraska. You've only seen 3 transfer scholarship players leave at this point, which is unusual in college football. So I think you have guys like Raiola, guys like Keelan Smith, who understand what this place means. Quinn Clark, like we said, and on down the line. I think, it's huge because these guys not only are talented players, but they also understand the culture piece. They understand what football and the football program means to this city and the state. And those are the guys that are bought in and can bring other guys along. So if you can find the talent and the players who understand sort of the importance of that, like, you're hitting on all cylinders.
When you talk about the in-state guys too, Nebraska got the top 6 players in the state by most recruiting services. Missed out on the Rezak brothers from Westside, the back-to-back state champion. But I think Nebraska did a good job of finding those guys and getting them into campus. A lot of that helps with, Daniel Kalen bringing 2 of them along with him in Holland McMorris. But the effort they put in on Carter Nelson, waiting as long as they did for Caleb Benning, do you think that getting the top talent in-state is just a priority this year because it was a good in-state class? Or do you think that's going to be a focus for Matt Rule and his staff moving forward too?
Yeah, I think it's a trend. And it's not like this is a new thing under Matt Rule. I mean, quite honestly, Scott Frost landed quite a few in-state players that have gone on to be lead contributors for Nebraska too. I think it's a testament to certainly the rising level of talent in the state. I think it's a testament to some of the academies that have popped up. I mean, Matt Rule today specifically mentions a guy like, Steve Warren, who has his own academy and has done a great job in promoting players and getting their names out there. I think it's a testament to, maybe to an extent, the idea that, there already was a lot of talent here, but in this era of huddle and social media, like, it's a lot easier for those players to get their names out there. So I don't see this trend going the other way anytime soon. 5 to 10 years ago, I mean, you're talking 2, 3, 4, maybe Power 5 sort of prospects out of the state every year, and it's well doubled and beyond at this point. So I think it's a clear priority for Matt Rule and company. I think again, a lot of the relationships they're building with high school coaches and academies and things like that are going to pay off. And Matt Rule said it again today, like, he wants to promote these Nebraska off-season camps to be a thing that anybody can come to, and players can prove themselves, and they can get to know the coaches and the programs, and that sort of thing can absolutely pay off year to year down the road.
We know the quarterback position was one Nebraska needed to address in the offseason. Dylan Raiola in the class, Daniel Kalen in the class, but no transfer portal quarterback. Probably not how Nebraska fans, drew it up after Black Friday against Iowa. Evan, what do you make of how Nebraska handled the quarterback position this offseason? How do you feel about that room in 2024 and 25?
Well, I mean, the conversation changed when Raiola opened things back up, and you could kind of see the way it was going when they bring Kyle McCord to campus. Like, he was going to be the 1-year guy, and then you bring in a guy like Kalen who could develop. You let Harburg and Purdy compete for that backup spot, and maybe they take a step forward as they really settle into the position for the first time as college players. And, you could see how that path could move forward. And there would have been a lot of excitement for a guy like Kyle McCord coming over, who'd been 12-1 as a starter in college. So, I thought that was a reasonable path. But I mean, when you have a chance, when a guy like Dylan Raiola says, yeah, I want to come there, like, you're going to change your plans. And so, whether that means he's the starter out of the gates next year, whether that means he eases into it like you see a lot of 5-stars do, remains to be seen. But you just kind of got to figure it out. If he's in here, he wants to be here, he can be one of those transformational talents and leaders that can also draw other skilled players in. You go from there. And Matt Rule said it again today, like, that's the path that they're going. They're going to go a little bit younger with Kalen and Raiola. And again, you still have Purdy and Harburg in the mix. And, we'll see kind of how it goes. They still have another month to assess the situation and have feelers out there. You don't know who could still enter the portal or what could go on. But at this point, it looks like a pretty darn healthy room with more depth than they've had in a while, and certainly more of the long-term high-end upside, than you can really think of in recent memory.
Today's signing day, but after today, Evan, it's back to business as usual. What's left for Nebraska football to accomplish this offseason?
Well, with this class, it's mostly complete. I mean, barring maybe a player or two that decides not to sign with their school during this period, maybe you could revisit that. But rules said it today, too. They're probably looking at one or two transfer additions between now and when UNL classes start on January 22nd. So you're probably looking at a receiver, maybe a running back if things break right that way. And then you just kind of see who else is in there and where things go. And then I think beyond that, that's when you start shoring up what your staff's going to look like next year. Matt Rule didn't want to get into it today about whether they would have a quarterback coach, a specific quarterback coach, what that could look like. That'll probably resolve itself when the NFL season ends, if I were to guess, next month. So that's a big part of it. And then you just get into the 2025 class. You get into development with your current players through mat drills and workouts and nutrition and all that. And you do the development part of being a developmental program until spring ball gets going, sometime in March.
Evan, very Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thanks for all your time. We'll talk again soon after the holidays.
Yep. Merry Christmas, guys.
There he is, Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, with us on our VIP lane, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We do also need to let you know that interview with Evan and all of our thoughts on the early National Signing Day are sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union. You can set the stage for success by getting a rewards card with low rates and dazzling member services at Members Owned Credit Union locations in Lincoln and Beatrice, or you can learn more at membersowncu.org. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. We've got some Nebraska ball news to get to you on the other side before we dive back into signing day. We'll wrap up hour one of On the Block with that news in just a moment.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends. Right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apple, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
When we're building homes for people, we're really trying to advise on the things that are going to create value so that when they go to sell it, they're going to have equity so that they can go build their second home.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
You know, the year has been a great year for Aspen Builders. We have had many repeat customers. We've been very blessed with great office staff, with great employees, and great subcontractors. We worked with a lot of new people building their dream home. We've built some great relationships. A lot of those relationships will continue. We'll be building them another new home down the road. So I'd like to take this time to wish all of our past customers and our future customers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the Prime Rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Load up on me and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. Keep posted to the Mercado's social media pages for specific daily deals from now all the way through Christmas Eve on December 24th. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run. So like speed option, those things. All you want to do.
Speed, I can't see much.
It's also. Oh, it's,
Uh-oh.
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill.
Down.
Come on
Just
now.
calm down.
I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be a
Word
parentheses or
Too many commas over there.
Too many,
Come on.
run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 1 of On the Block here. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Got some late-breaking Nebraska ball news. The men in action tonight against North Dakota. Catch our own Erick Strickland on the call. Looking dapper, looking ready to provide that top-tier analysis, as always. Strick, you will not be calling a Rink Mast game tonight. Rink Mast underwent a minor knee surgery. I noticed on Sunday when I was in Manhattan that he was wearing a leg sleeve. I didn't think much of it, especially not after he played so well. It's 3 of 4 from 3, has a double-double, helps Juwan Gary own the interior, has some nice passes as well. Rink Mast played well with the sleeve. I had no idea what to make of it. I didn't think much of it. Well, it turns out he's undergoing a minor knee procedure. So he's out today. He's out on the 28th then against South Carolina State. And then after that, it's listed that his availability will be day to day. That's a big loss for Nebraska. It probably means either Josiah Allick is back into the starting lineup as your starting 5. Maybe you get Matar Diop. But an injury to Rink Mass shows you just how thin Nebraska is, with Blaise Keita not playing. And that's really the big man depth right now for this Nebraska team.
Yeah. I guess there's a couple of ways you can look at it, right? Let's be real about it. He's their best rebounder. Leading assist guy. So this is one of those situations where I think the timing works to get this done. You got North Dakota, and then you got South Carolina State. So you have 2 games. Probably your bet. Well, I don't know. North Dakota beat the brakes off Oak Hill, like 114.
That was North Dakota State.
Oh, that was State.
Other one. We're good.
Shoot. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
That was State. Okay. Whew.
North Carolina did beat Cal State, or North Dakota did beat Cal State Fullerton, though.
Oh,
common opponent.
Yeah, common opponent. Okay. So, I mean, look, it's not going to be a walkover. Teams like that, if they shoot well, they can give you a scare. You should dominate certain areas of the game so that you can kind of try to put them away. Definitely don't let them out rebound you. Definitely don't do those things. So these are the things that Rink Mass has done well. But when I say about the timing is because of the importance of other guys getting an opportunity to step up and get some playing time, get some more court time, who you're going to be able to find out something about somebody else who's going to feel certain areas. You can get another eye just before the Big Ten, season starts as far as conference. More games. So that's why I think you get to see probably a little bit more of Diop. We still don't know what's going on with Keita, but if you need to, hopefully you can integrate him into the lineup, get him some more feel and get his legs up under him.
He's at least been in the system, so you think he'd be pretty ready to slide in, conditioning aside.
I mean, the responsibilities for Allick is going to step up. So you're going to get to see on that big man level. I mean, then you get to figure out more about Juwan Gary. Just, you already know kind of what you're going to get from him, but he's going to probably be called on to do a little bit more than what he's been usually used to. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to have to step up.
I'm kind of excited for next Teach Tape Tuesday because I think we're going to see a lot of small Nebraska, see if they operate more 5 out or try to use Josiah Allick like Rink Mass. We haven't seen a lot of this, but we did in Spain, right? When Rink Mass was playing with the Dutch national team, Josiah Allick wasn't playing, Blaise Keita was still out, and Matar Diop was just getting integrated into the team. So Nebraska has played without, a big man before. Now they at least have Josiah Allick and Matar Diop to play some minutes, but I think we see some Juwan Gary at the 5. Hopefully not Bryce Williams, but maybe in a pinch if Gary has to sit and Allick's out or something. Cale Jacobson played the 5 in Spain.
Yeah.
Maybe that's for him. So if Nebraska is going to play small, what are the keys to having success against North Dakota tonight?
It's going to be definitely the same keys. You got to rebound. You can't let a team get more possessions than you. And if you're playing good defense, to give them an opportunity to score second chance points. Like, you want to limit second chance points. So you want to rebound. You also want to execute well, shoot well. And I think your free throw numbers want to be solid. You want to make sure that if you can win those specific areas, you'll be fine. Now, also the last thing, don't turn the freaking ball over. Don't
but
do
especially
with the
not
football.
tonight.
Yeah, you because turnovers usually lead to a bad situation of the other team being able to get fast break points on you. So just play solid. Just have a solid game all the way around. But in those specific areas, you want to win them so that way you can come out with a W without getting scared in your home court. Because again, take care of home. That's got to be the motto, because if you don't do that in Big Ten, you end up in that bottom tier again. You're playing 5 games potentially.
And that's a tough ask all around. This is a game that I think Nebraska needs to put up some style points if possible, boost some of those underlying numbers for any, postseason considerations. John in Cortland says South Carolina State is not a gimme, neither is North Dakota. There are no gimme games. When you're Nebraska basketball, you got to treat everyone the same way, prepare for everyone with the same intensity. And Big Bird, no, we don't know the full story on Ramel Lloyd Jr. We wish the best for the young man. Hope that whatever it is going on behind the scenes gets handled. But no, we do not have the full story. If we did, we don't. Let's just leave it at that. We don't know the full story. We wish the best for Ramel, Rock, and the basketball team, everything there. We'll jump back into early National Signing Day coverage presented by Members Own Credit Union here in hour number 2. Obviously, a lot going on for football, but there are big recruits in other sports as well. Nebraska softball gets Jordy Ball out of the transfer portal. Husker women's basketball signs Britt Prince out of Elkhorn North. Add that on top of Dylan Raiola. There's a lot going on for this athletic department to be excited about. What could those 3 players with ties to the state mean for this state, its athletic programs, its athletic department? We will dive into that and plenty more reaction to the Nebraska football signing class as we get going into hour 2 of On the Block.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. Keep posted to the Mercado's social media pages for specific daily deals from now all the way through Christmas Eve on December 24th. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference. Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and a high of around 49. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies continue. We'll see a low around 37. And tomorrow, more patchy fog in the morning than mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of a National Signing Day, early National Signing Day show comes your way on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams up and going for you, as is Allo Channel 951. We heard from Evan Blaney of the Omaha World Herald on our Allo VIP line at 2:30. Really great insight from Evan. Either rewind the broadcast you're watching, or if you're on the radio, make sure you check out the podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts. That'll be up a little bit later tonight. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can 402-464-5685. That's the Sartor Heyman text line, as well as the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We got a lot of responses to the under the radar kind of commits that you're excited about, Husker fans. Not the in-state guys, not Dylan Raiola. We know those, but the other guys in the class. It's a deep class with a lot of intriguing prospects. We'll see how many of them pan out, right? That's the coin flip of recruiting. You never know exactly what you're going to get, but the staff really likes the large class that it brings in. We'll see how many of them develop into pieces. So if you have a player you're looking out for, you can let us know again on the Sartor Heyman text line or the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We'll dive into that and plenty of what Matt Rule had to say here in just a little bit. But Strick, with the commitment of Dylan Raiola, it got me thinking about some of the other big commits in Husker history, right? We went over it yesterday. Marlon Luckney, Ndamukong Suh, Baker Steinkuhler, Aaron Green, all these highly rated guys. But then it got me thinking about more recently and in other sports. So Raiola, the latest commitment, but before him, you had Britt Prince make her decision to commit to play for Nebraska, the Elkhorn North standout, who's a junior right now, still putting up just insane numbers at the high school level. And then, of course, the news of the offseason was Jordy Ball, the two-time Women's College World Series champion, coming home from Oklahoma, where she was, All-American stud, basically unbeatable on the mound. No, she's got, a solid bat as well from her time in high school. It's an incredible run for this athletic department to get 3 players of that magnitude with ties to the state back to not just a state school, but the state school, to get them to the flagship campus, donning the Huskers across their chest, the red N on their gear. It's potentially huge. I think there's probably the most expectation on Dylan Raiola, given that he's a quarterback, that he plays for the football team. I think there's a lot of intrigue and excitement around Britt Prince, what she can do. Can she be Nebraska women's basketball's answer to Caitlin Clark? But Jordy Ball is the one I think is still flying under the radar. There's a lot made of her decision when she came, but she feels like the surest thing. She's been there, done that at the biggest stage in college athletics.
Not once,
but twice. What a run for Nebraska to get all three of those players into the same athletic department. This athletic, North Stadium has to be feeling really good right now with those three faces in tow.
Well, this isn't a subject that we can just really dig into because it's pretty plain and simple. I think it's simple that the home cooking, the feel, Nebraska's done some things in their NIL that are starting to ramp up. I think Nebraska is really, it's one of those things where you've been so down and out for so long that you've just been looking for something to change the trajectory of where your program was going, which was in the mud. It was in quicksand. It was on stuck. It didn't seem like it was moving. And then you find yourself getting potentially transcendent type of players that can move needles. Now, again, nothing has been done yet. There's still work to be accomplished. There's still some things to do in the process of that to make those changes. There's other additions. You can't do it by yourself. You know what I mean? But it does shine a light on the possibility and for those looking, because I say this all the time, and I spoke to, like I said, your old high school, and I told them, one of the things you cannot miss is this point. There's always someone watching. So no matter what you're doing, no matter, how bad you feel about it, and I gave the story about how I was at a pre-draft camp in Portsmouth, and I played terrible, and I know I did. I was sick as a dog. I was throwing up blood, and I played horribly, and I shared that story with him. But there was one guy, because I was still diving. I was still hustling. I was still scrapping. Didn't shoot worth a darn. And yet that one person saw you and called out your name amongst the powers that be. So that's what I'm saying with what Dylan Raiola and what Jordy and Britt, the likes of them are doing, because Britt on the basketball side still has a few years. She's going to run across a lot of people in the AAU circuit before she lands herself on campus. And with Britt's situation, it could be potentially a Michigan Juwan Howard type of situation where he's having conversations with Jimmy King and Chris Webber and Jalen, and they're like, yo, man, let's go do something. It's like with us, with Badgett and me, and we got together and was like, man, let's go do something special, at Nebraska. It can happen. That's what you got with that situation. Dylan Raiola is now going to set in motion potentially, because you got to remember, he's played all over the country. So he's played on the West Side. He's now played on the East Side. High profile teams, and he's played 7-on-7. So he's seen highly skilled players. They've had conversations. They've talked. A lot of people probably like him because he seemed like a well-balanced type of young man, knows what he wants, very confident in his space. And so he potentially has those type of skilled players looking, and it doesn't matter where they're at right now because Dylan Raiola is not on campus. But they could be watching this next year and just watching how things are there or things are missing. And they could say, I can see myself fitting in that. Now, more so than last year, that you've got somebody that can do that. And then with Jordy Ball, you've got a champion. You got somebody that's won championships. And what more would you like to sit? Listen, I don't care. If you've never played baseball, there's nothing better than when guys are in the rotation. There's a difference between that guy in the rotation, because being that I played baseball and being out in the field in the middle of freaking blazing hot sun.
Florida summers.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't feel good. So you want to get on the field and off that field quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than these two type of players. One, the one that you know cannot find the freaking strike zone. Oh, it's going to be one of those type of days. That's how you feel, right? Oh, he's pitching today. God, I just hope he can find the strike zone. But the other one, the one that you know you're going to get behind, because if you play your position, you do what you're supposed to do in the field, he's going to pitch and put balls in play, which is going to be able to, if you make plays, you're going to be off the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying when you're talking about Jordy Ball. They're going to love to play behind her, and those position players are going to want to be lockstep with her.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to find good, skilled players that want to come and play with somebody like that. So that's what you got on campus right now.
It's exciting times for multiple programs, and I think the in-state ties mean a lot, right? Nebraska football signed 6 players that are legacies, the top 6 players in the state. That's a big deal for football. You get the number 1 rated.
Because they know.
They know Dylan Raiola is here. They know what he can do to elevate a program. You saw Jordy Ball, start conversations with other recruits when she started transferring. Didn't bring, a lot else with her, but had those conversations. She's got 2 years left, right? Maybe it's not this year, but if she does her thing, people are like, okay, yep, I see what she's doing. I see why she's going there. If Dylan Raiola had maybe flipped a little earlier, a month earlier, maybe he brings some more guys with him. But the fact that this happened, officially 2 days before signing day, it was always going to be tough to make some of those flips for him, which is where I think Britt Prince might have the best of both worlds. The championship pedigree in high school is what she's doing at Elkhorn North. But Strick, here's the thing. She has a little bit of a foundation laid for her by your former teammate's daughter, Alexis Markowski, coming from Lincoln Pius. Not a transcendent talent by any means, but an all Big Ten caliber talent that has played at that level for a couple and a half years now. So she has an example to follow, but Britt Prince also has time to put a class together. Hey, this is where I'm going. This is the big stuff we can accomplish. Come join me.
That's what I was saying. In a nutshell, that's the way I see it. Mm-hmm.
The other important aspect of this is we're talking about all 3 of these players as transcendent talents, as program-changing talents. But I think it bears repeating, they can't be the savior themselves. They cannot be. And I think this fan base has some of that scar tissue still built up from 2017 to 2022 with what happened with the football team. I think there's still some wounds there that are healing. And Strick, you and I see it on the text line all the time. I'm not going to call anyone out, but we see the text where, I don't want to say it's hating, but it's, oh, they got to prove it. Oh, what does this mean? Oh, it's, different name, but same old Nebraska football, same old Nebraska basketball incoming. Fans are a little gun shy, right? And I think that's okay. I think there's a difference between the healthy skepticism of, I want to believe, I want them to be good, but they have to prove it, and immediately anointing them as they're too big to fail, like we saw back in December of 2017.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, that's one of the things you understand. You understand how you feel, and it's very easy to fall into negative Noel and
negative Nelly.
Yeah, all the negative Nellies and whatever the case may be, Natalie, whatever you want to call them. But the fact remains is these you've got to start somewhere, and the start of it starts with potential. Potential is not the same as ready-made or getting it done, or it's a finished product. Potential is you have tools, but you have to put things together. The finished product of what we see here today was a vision, was mapped out, they brought in all types of stuff. They had to purchase some things, NIL. There's chairs and all kinds of stuff, new equipment. That's just part of the potential. But then once you get into the building, there's action that must take place, and that's still yet to be seen. So all that we're talking about is potential of turnaround. And but again, it's not savior, because on the block can't do this by itself. Early break couldn't do it by itself. We all collectively, build on each other and help what 93.7 the ticket is. And that's what a program is in the same manner. It's going to take everybody's effort to do their part to maximum strength or maximum potential of what they can offer, and then collectively do it with the same goals in mind, not my own goals, because if it becomes an individual thing, you begin to do your own thing, and then it causes a problem of some form of a ripple effect, or it leaves a hole or a gap somewhere, which ends up costing you eventually. And so it's the same thing what we saw in the last few games with Nebraska basketball.
Right.
I mean, there was a turn because what they did in Minnesota and what they did against Creighton was totally different than what they did in their next few games, because you can see they put bodies on people. They were blocking out. They weren't just throwing the ball all over the lot, and they were making plays and stopping runs. So you need a collective group to do that, Austin, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, we're going to see again tonight what it's going to look like, because now they're going to have to step up. Mass is out. You're one of your best player, your best distributor, your best rebounder,
steadiest guy,
one of your most steady, good post up, good body. He can get you buckets inside. He makes free throws. That's missing. So collectively as a group, we have to make up the slack somewhere. You know what I mean? And or someone's going to have to step up.
I want to go back to something you said in hour one. Field of Dreams, if you build it, they'll come. But Stricky says, if you build it,
they'll stay.
I think right now, obviously Nebraska, these three programs had to build at least a little bit of something to attract interest from these three players. I think Dylan Raiola, Jordy Ball, and Britt Prince are the if you build it, they'll come. So that the next Dylan Raiola, the next Jordy Ball, the next, I guess Britt Prince has always been committed to Nebraska, but the if you build it, they'll stay has to do with players in the program. But also, if there is the next Jordy Ball in state, she doesn't detour to Oklahoma first. The next Dylan Raiola doesn't commit to Ohio State and then to Georgia. He commits to Nebraska first and builds that class there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. That's the holistic way of viewing it. That's the way I see it.
Couple
things.
things.
I mean, that's the one thing we had in the past, and that's the one thing we lost. That's the one thing where coaches like Callahan ends up going super West Coast style, and then you don't even recruit really in the in-state, and then some of your best talent ends up both rolling outside and going elsewhere. And so you start to see a trickle-down effect of guys starting to do that. Then you see situations with coaching staffs that recruit in-state, but then they give up scholarships and say, well, we can't really keep you. So, and then the kid goes down and becomes like San Diego State's best. Then the other kid goes over and plays in the Final Eight with Nevada, and then you start seeing all these kids going elsewhere and having success, and you're like, we could have been right here. Well, no, you kind of pushed them out. So once you lose that, it's tough to get back, and I think you're starting to see them turn the corner a little bit, and it's starting to happen a little bit more where they're starting to retain some of the best of the state. I mean, I knew early too, and that's what you want. You want kids knowing, like Britt Prince, early, that this is where I want to be, and they stay.
Let's wrap up this segment with this. We've got Mike in, I think that's a Texas area code, 210. I think that's San Antonio. He says, a little gun shy. We're a shattered fan base. We can't do any more hype. And Strick, I think there's a difference between hype and excitement and optimism. Hype is overblown. It's over the top. It's boxing promoter. It's marketing agent. It's unfounded. I think excitement and optimism is different because Dylan Raiola has a track record. Everyone in the country wanted him. Because Jordy Ball's been there, done that. The best college softball program we've seen, at least in the last, 20 years, if not of all time. And because Britt Prince is doing it at the high school level right now, it's not unsubstantiated. They have to prove it at Nebraska, but we've seen hype before. We've especially seen overhyped before at Nebraska. I don't think Dylan Raiola is being overhyped. I don't think Jordy Ball, Britt Prince are being overhyped. I think there needs to be legitimate excitement and optimism around them, and that's healthy.
Yeah. Just a healthy surrounding, just a healthy atmosphere, a healthy, fan base that supports. Understand there's going to be bumps in the road, and there's going to be potholes, and there's going to be situations where things may need to get fixed or get better. But at the end of the day, know also that you're there because you want to be there, and you're committed to the process, and you want to grow and get better. And so from what we see from year one, we don't see the same thing year two. We want to see what's the growth, for you. Where's the consistency? We want to start seeing if you came in and you had 58% passing percentage, I'm just speaking about Raiola. You had a 58. We want to see 62, 63, and 65. If you have, 11 interceptions with 22 touchdowns, we want to see 25 with 8. We want to just see growth. I think fans would be okay if they can see progression and not stagnation or regression, right? Would you agree? If I'm wrong, Sutter Heyman text line, tell me, 402-464-5685. I think anybody, like you can overhype a situation so much that everything looks like failure. But if you really look at it and take it in a microcosm of just taking a micro look of it, just if you can see incremental growth, you think you can, that's something you can work off of, I think.
We're seeing that growth from the Nebraska men's basketball team. They take on North Dakota tonight, and we've got a benefactor here on the text line. 1575 has 2 tickets to give away to tonight's Nebraska-North Dakota game. Here's what we're going to do. We want to make this a pre-holiday date night. If it's a parent-child outing, or if it's a husband-wife, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever kind of outing. If you want to take one other person that means something to you to a Nebraska basketball game for free, text in your name, give us your phone number. We'll get that to our benefactor who has 2 free tickets to tonight's Nebraska-North Dakota game. Tell us your name. Tell us who it is you're taking with you. We'll give those tickets away when we get back. And also, we'll hear from the head coach. Matt Rule spoke not just to the Nebraska media, but at plenty of national shows around the country. What did Matt Rule have to say about some players, his process in putting this class together? We'll get to that and plenty more as we continue on the block.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We can live our lives without breaking the law, but that doesn't mean you won't be accused of committing a crime. Hi, my name is Seth Morris with Liberty Law Group. If you've been accused of a crime, your job, your family, and your freedom is at stake. At Liberty Law Group, our skilled and relentless trial attorneys pride themselves on tackling difficult cases and providing the highest quality representation for our clients. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. Again, that's libertylawnebraska.com.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite Tailored Light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
When we're building homes for people, we're really trying to advise on the things that are going to create value so that when they go to sell it, they're going to have equity so that they can go build their second home.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
You know, the year has been a great year for Aspen Builders. We have had many repeat customers. We've been very blessed with great office staff, with great employees, and great subcontractors. We worked with a lot of new people building their dream home. We've built some great relationships. A lot of those relationships will continue. We'll be building them another new home down the road. So I'd like to take this time to wish all of our past customers and our future customers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
I'm Sergeant Jones with the Nebraska State Patrol. Driving drunk puts everyone on the road at risk. In Nebraska, over 30% of all roadway fatalities occur in alcohol-related crashes, and every one of those could have been prevented. The decision to give your keys to a sober driver could be the decision that prevents a roadway tragedy. Help keep Nebraska roads safe and always drive sober. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all-natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here too on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, diving into National Signing Day, the early National Signing Day big class for Nebraska. All our coverage brought to you by Members Own Credit Union. Set the stage for success by getting a rewards card with low rates and dazzling member services. Members Own Credit Union has locations in Lincoln and Beatrice. You can also learn more at membersowncu.org. We did get those tickets given away. Winsome Harris said he'd love to take take mom to the basketball game tonight. She's in town from out of the country for graduation. Congratulations on graduation. That's amazing that your mom was able to make it. You are a certainly deserving recipient of those tickets. So please, we got you in contact with the benefactor. Enjoy the game tonight. Thank you for listening. Probably say it to Stricky on the way down. You know, you'll be there, Stricky, calling it. Yeah.
Wave at me and just let me know who you are, and I'll be there in the building.
Let's dive back into early National Signing Day for Nebraska. Let's hear from the head man himself. Matt Rule had the press conference today, the signing day, debrief, the recap of it all. The headliner of the class, of course, Dylan Raiola. Here is Matt Rule with his thoughts on his five-star quarterback.
And then, Dylan called last Sunday and just said, "Hey, coach, my heart keeps telling me to come to Nebraska. Can I come take another look?" And I challenged him like, "Hey, make sure you're serious about this, because, I don't want this to be something that, isn't right for you." And he said, "No, my life has greater purpose than just, being the top recruit. I know what Nebraska means to my family. I know what it's meant to me. And I'd like to come there." And so I think in the end, to have a player of Dylan's caliber, not his recruiting, but his caliber, his arm talent, his ability to see the field, but probably more than anything, his work ethic and how much he cares about the game. We obviously took that. So,
Stricky, your thoughts when you hear that quote from Matt Rule about Dylan Raiola?
I mean, to me, that shows more about the young man to hear that type of in-depth conversation. That means he's just not looking for the glitz, the glamour, and just the glory of it. He really wants more. And I think if he keeps focused at that, wanting more, it's not just, I'm talking about, just think about what he could do for the program more.
Mm-hmm.
Not about coming in here and leading them to a national championship. That'd be great. I think he could do more for this program by coming in here, growing, doing what I just said, can each year incrementally just showing you're getting better. And then you become a top quarterback draftee. What that could do to your program. Because now there's more stories that can be told.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger stories. And if you do it by your junior year, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You come in this year, you have 2,800 yards, 2,900, a few hundred. Numbers are okay. Then the next year, 3,300. Then next year, 36. And then a 30. I mean, to me, but everything else gets better. Your percentages. And
completion percentage,
all
touchdown
that gets better at the
ratio.
same time, right? Because guess what? if your numbers are solid, recruits are going to want to come at the receiver position. If you if you're showing a pro style, linemen are going to want to come because that's going to be preparation for next level.
Mm-hmm.
If you're showing, because if you can set a pocket, any pros at the next level will look at you. If you can set a pocket,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a running back and you just want to be able to be a solid piece to a program, you don't have to be like the Maurice Claret types, or you don't have to be like the Lawrence Phillips or the Amon Green types. You don't have to be, because they're not drafting for that now. Just be solid and be like a Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? And just know that I'm gonna be good enough, well-rounded. I can block, I can catch passes out of the backfield, I can be a 3-down back, and then so that is what's gonna show. Right? You know that there's possibilities. You see Toure, you see Palmer. Okay, no one to throw to him. Now you got Raiola, someone that can throw it. Just say Raiola raises the level of any of those those wide receivers right now. Just raise their level. You got guys that are going to want to come. That's what I think he could do better for this program.
Might be a silly question, but will he compete for the starting job from day one? Here's the head coach.
Yeah, everybody does. Yeah. There's no. We're a team that started multiple non-scholarship players last year. Like, competition is king. So every player, nothing's handed to anybody.
What about the other guy coming in the recruiting class? Daniel Kalin out of Stricky's alma mater, Bellevue West. Here's what Matt Rule had to say about getting the in-state quarterback as well.
Daniel Kalin's been loyal to us from the very beginning. We believe in Daniel. We believe in his skill set, his processing, how quickly he sees it. I love the fact that, even this past weekend, he had opportunities and he just wants to compete and wants to be a Husker. That's, as I sat there and watched that show yesterday, and they talk about Tommy Frazier and Brooks Behringer, just, hey, I want to be here and I want to compete. And I appreciate that about him.
Wants to compete, wants to be a Husker. Should be music to every Husker fan's ears. What about another in-state kid, Carter Nelson, the tight end that had offers from
everywhere.
Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame? If they could offer him, they did. Here's Matt Rule on the Ainsworth product tight end, Carter Nelson.
Yeah, when I talk about that, kind of that model of that San Francisco type model, college version of that, guys like Carter are imperative. You need positionless players. You go watch him play. He's playing quarterback. He's playing tailback. He's playing wide out. He's playing tight end. I told him, I said, we're going to hand him the ball like Walter Payton on 4th and 1 and let him dive over the top. See, I bet you guys didn't know I posted that the other day. Now you do. So, I said, hey, that's our goal for him, a positionless player. And, we signed Ja'Cory Barney, and Ja'Cory's playing wide out, and also he's playing quarterback for his team. It's like, you get a bunch of guys who can do things with the ball, and you watch how the offense comes alive. And, we're kind of a positionless defense. We'd like to be a positionless offense. I think Carter has all the talent in the world, and I think it's really cool. And someone from Nebraska can go anywhere in the country they want. He could have today flipped to anywhere, and they would have taken him, and he wants to come here. I think it sends a great message.
It absolutely does send a great message. Strick, I love that comparison to San Francisco. The creativity that Kyle Shanahan has shown with Kittle, Samuel, Usyk, making a great quarterback out of, Brock Purdy, having success with Jimmy Garoppolo getting to a Super Bowl. I've been saying Michigan is the model for Nebraska in college football in terms of what they do with their offense, how physical their defense is. But Matt Rule being an NFL guy, stealing ideas from that level, there might not be a better, 11-man unit in football in terms of versatility and different ways to beat you than San Francisco's offense. And that's exciting to hear Matt Rule kind of has that vision for Nebraska.
Well, the way I look at it is everything he said thus far, he's operating towards. So if he's saying that, just listen to what he said about his tweet. So he doesn't mince words. I mean, anything he's saying, he means. So I can imagine he's having great conversations with. That goes back to what Jay and I talked about my eyebrows raised when he talked about scheme and system.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because that means you can see that they're willing to make the adjustment to do what they need to do with who they're working with to help them to try to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
They made those adjustments. That's probably not what they envisioned and what they were hoping for when they started the season. I think now they've been able to get who they want, the type of players they want, but you're not locked into a scheme.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to work this, coach this, and teach this in a manner that is fit for the vision. So when I'm seeing that, I believe that they're going to work their way to making it look that way. And they're going to recruit that way. They're going to be looking for running backs that have the type of versatility that McCaffrey, we ain't saying they McCaffrey, we just saying they have that type of versatility.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be, when you're saying a position, that's what I was thinking about. I'm thinking about have him to be a hybrid type of guy, a Jimmy Graham, one of those type of guys that are just, you can put him out into the slot, you can, put him out on the edge,
bring him
you
in
can
line.
put him in motion, you can run him on freaking sweeps.
If Nebraska can run a sweep to Ethan Carter, Nebraska can run a sweep to Carter Nelson.
Telling you, it just whatever, just showing that type of innovation in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
A big part of that San Francisco offense as well is Trent Williams. Did Nebraska find a Trent Williams type of guy in Grant Brix out of the state of Iowa? Here's Matt Rule on Grant Brix.
When I first got here, Donovan told me, he said, hey, there's this guy that came to our camp last year. He's really special. I love, besides the person and the player that, the person that he is, the family, I love his versatility. I've seen him wrestle. I've seen him play in the band. I've seen him play football. I mean, he can kind of do a little bit of everything, but I love his hat speed. When you're looking for there's a lot of big offensive linemen. There's not many that are as explosive and athletic as Grant is. And so I've really enjoyed my relationship with him and his family. Very, again, it's about an hour 15, an hour 20 from his house to here. There's a lot of really good players in this area. And the ability to have him want to come here and join us, despite having all the offers that he did, was big for us. Again, we want to grow the offensive line sort of the same way. We like to grow it the hard way, through recruiting, through development. He has a lot of talent that, if developed properly, we think can be an excellent player.
There's a lot of talent in and around this area. You heard Matt Rule say Grant Brix among that group. 6 of the top in-state prospects in Nebraska committed to the Huskers today. What did Matt Rule have to say about recruiting in-state? Grab your popcorn, settle in. This is about a 2-minute answer, but I think it's all worthwhile. Again, Nebraska head coach Matt Rule on in-state recruiting.
Well, people have been unbelievable. Since the day we got here. We go to a clinic, people are there. I think the high school football here is really, really strong. You think about it, we signed, I'm doing some national shows, and they're like, well, you signed 8 guys. I know Notre Dame signed a player out of here too. Illinois signed a player out of here. So it's not like we got every one. It's not like, there's 10, 11, 12 Division I players here. What I would say was really special to us this year was we took because of our camps, we have a lot of guys that we think are scholarship-worthy players that came as non-scholarship players. They turned down Division I offers to come here. So I think the high school coaches have been great. Hopefully our camps will continue to catch on. A lot of players thought, hey, you have to be invited to come to the camp. No, we want everybody. I want by the time you're a senior that you've been coming to my camp since you were in 6th grade. And you know me, and I know you, and, this has been your dream. That's kind of our goal. As we've gone around the state, like you brought up Ainsworth, I've been there 3 times. We had the time of our lives on Saturday in Ainsworth. Just unbelievable people. Went to the high school football game, the playoff game, a month ago. Just unbelievable people. So it's when you go to those towns and you meet those people, and those little kids come up to you, and you're not sure what they're going to say to you, and the kid walks up and says, "I'm glad you ran a fake punt for once." So thanks, bro. You just realize, hey, again, I say this a lot, and that people probably go, we have such a responsibility to produce a winner because people are really counting on it. And so going back into those towns and those people reciprocating the feeling and welcoming us is awesome. And it makes recruiting Nebraska a lot of fun.
Stricky, you got recruited as a Nebraska kid to a Nebraska program. What does it mean to you to hear Matt Rule say what he did about the people in the state, the talent in the state, and the responsibility to build a winner at Nebraska?
That's been the mission. That's why I came. I knew that once I moved here and I got to meet the people, it became part of my soul. It became a piece of me. I knew it was a part of me. Yes, there's parts of you that want to branch out because you just want to get away from home. The beautiful thing about that, baseball gave me the opportunity to do that, and it was good to come back home. But I wanted to build a winner for this state because I believe the people deserved it. That's why I stayed. I believe the people deserved some good basketball. And that's why I left it all on the court. That's why I gave it all that I had every moment that I was out there, because I believe that they deserve that. You know what I mean? Injured, sore, wanting to give up at times, but still, when it was over, I shed tears because I really believe that I gave it all that I had. That's what he wants to build. That's what he wants the people to feel again, because he believes they deserve that. And so that's what I'm hoping he's able to provide. I'm hoping that he sticks to the mission. And I think this is why they gave him the years that they gave him, because they believed in what he was sharing as well. And again, I've heard snake oil salesmen. I've heard those who sell the dream and throw in everything that sticks on the wall and act like it and fake like it. But I'm actually seeing what he's saying, and that makes a difference. It doesn't matter if it's politics. It doesn't matter if it's in your job. If your COO or your CEO or your manager's group lays out a plan and a foundation for you, and you see what they're saying, you'll run through walls for them because you believe what they say. I think that's an important piece, and I think this is why you're seeing what you're seeing just on the periphery of the program right now.
Great stuff from Strick. Good stuff from Coach Rule. I'm Austin Norman. This is On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Big shout out as well to Members Owned Credit Union for sponsoring everything we're talking about here as a part of the early National Signing Day. We got one segment left here during On the Block. We like to cross it over with Old School. Jay Foreman in the house. We'll bring him in, get you set up for Old School here in just a minute.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. And if you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and a high of around 49. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies continue. We'll see a low around 37. And tomorrow, more patchy fog in the morning than mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day. Sponsored by Members Own Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. Crossing it over. Oscar and Erick
They'll be the one. Hey,
J-Form in the building.
They'll be the best one.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It's classic. And listen, I'm telling you, the off-air shenanigans are off. Absolutely. But they could be a show in its own right. I wish we could do something like off-air shenanigans or something. That the off-air shenanigans be the funniest stuff to me, I think. Go
Stricky, you missed it yesterday. Jay and I almost saw a dude get got in the crosswalk.
Right there. My man, it was they should have had the chariots of fire, and he was crossing. So what happened is the people got stuck going this way, and then this was open. Well, he just saw that
open.
He saw walk light.
But the person was over there red, do not walk. Well, he decided to walk, so he came out there and he looked and almost got hit. Then he stopped it. Anytime you stop, you just waiting. And his stop and start wasn't very good.
You saw him come on his tiptoes that time?
Yeah, he got up on the tiptoes. He was a millisecond from getting bounced. Live in an action.
Ooh, boy, I'm glad. Ooh.
We got to get that replay, though, man.
Need that replay?
Yeah, Strick, it was funny. I was almost crying, man.
That's hilarious.
We're still digging into the archives for that, but you guys both, played college athletics. You remember your signing days?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I can't speak for Strick. It wasn't nearly like this. I think it was myself and another classmate. She was a female. She was going to play volleyball, I think, at Georgia Tech. So we had the same social studies class. So they just called us down. I think the local newspaper was there. You signed the thing. My dad was there, and her parents were there. Signed it. Kind of got next to each other with our two coaches. Took the picture. Went right back to school, or we're right back to class. I was like, "Dang, don't we get the day off?"
Right.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying, brother?
That's all it is.
I passed my ACT. My GPA good. Can I just get a day off? And they did it early too.
Oh yeah.
Like 8:00 in the morning. I wanted to get a day off straight. That was
I'm
it.
surprised they didn't do it at lunchtime.
I would have liked it. Give me a free burger or something, you know?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't too much, but nevertheless, once you make it and you achieve this goal, you know, I think that one of the biggest things is once you work so hard to get here, so you made it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the time to. I always try to equate things that what everybody does every day. So if you're driving, so say you get to the stoplight and you're just starting a race, you don't push it back and idle. This is when you really want to hit the hammer down. So once you get here, this is when you really work. This is when you got to double down and really prove yourself. Now you don't want to be temporary. You want to create the habits that's going to make you permanent. Permanently entrenched in a position battle, permanently entrenched as a starter, permanently entrenched as a leader. You know what I mean? You get more guys like that, and that's infectious. Then you're gonna have a solid team, and a team that's gonna not wilt under pressure, a team that's gonna be able to, push through any adversity, that are going to get over the hump. Big thing is going from, you could very easily go in an offseason from 5 wins like Nebraska is to 8, and just in a change of personnel and everybody taking upon themselves to really embrace a mindset, not just talk about it, but really speak it into existence, and then you start to live it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said, and as we were just sitting here talking, one of the things that Austin and I talked about was sometimes it's a change of a coach, sometimes it's a change of a landscape, it's a change of your position, it's a move. Sometimes those things can relight a fire or reignite or or can bring about change. And so when you have those opportunities, you really do have to get buy-in quickly.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah.
Has to
What's your idea of buy-in?
To me, buy-in is
because that's a word that's just out there, and there's like probably 85 definitions, but we've both been there where we've had to buy in. Right. You know what I mean? Whether we're going from high school to college or just a change, what's your definition of buy-in?
All right. So I'm going to give it by way of a visionary analogy, right?
Okay.
Buy-in to me is we're all sitting collectively in a room. We have a destination that we're trying to go to. I'm gonna spell it out. I'm just gonna say we're here in Omaha, Nebraska, but we're going to Orlando, Florida. We sit in here collectively. There's multiple ways in which we can get there. We can drive a truck. We can ride on motorcycles. We come to determine the method of our transportation. We can get on a plane, but whatever one, right? We decide. But when we do it, we're doing it together. Okay. Now you plot your course. Whatever course we take, we understand that there might be roadblocks. We understand that there might be all types of things out there, but this is the route we're taking. We're not deviating. We've got a plan on how we're going to get there. We know where we're going to stop and eat, but everything we're doing together as a team to make sure we get to Orlando on time.
Yeah, I like
that.
That's
buy-in for me.
Yeah, and you can even throw a little more spice on it. It's no different that, you might just be, you deviate different tasks, right? You might be, the night driver.
Right.
Austin might be the co-pilot, riding shotgun maybe, and then you got somebody in the back always kind of looking and see if there's any, speed traps or police, right? But you know what? If we catch a flat tire and Strick is the night driver and we need him to rest all day, well, guess what? As a co-pilot or as a lookout, we might have to get out there and get the jack and change the tire. And then we might have to shift roles. Mm-hmm. And we got to do it for the betterment of the team, because ultimately we do got to get in your analogy to Orlando. And that's huge. I think buy-in is just, I talked about it earlier, is like, you have to be demanding, because you have to, the things that you demand are probably not your unbreakables, right? Mm-hmm. Being a good teammate, being on time, working hard and doing the extra, whatever those are not conversation pieces. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are the demands, these are the wants, and this is what we have. And then you start to get into those habits, and then you're willing to do whatever it needs to get done, to get the job done. Because ultimately, everybody doesn't go back and think like, man, in your case, like, man, I heard you talk about Coach Nee. Like, man, we ran, 10 extra stairs back in the summer. oh man, that you don't even think about that when you get a big victory. You know what I mean? Or what we had to do, we used to run stadium stairs. We had a 300-yard shuttle. We beat Florida. Nobody thought about that. And really, realistically, we're like, actually, we're glad we did that. Now, the pain was very temporary, but the winning is forever. And those moments are worth it. And that comes from buy-in, because you always are going to have guys that are going to question stuff. And you know what? I changed with the new age of athletes, where I'm not okay with it, but I understand it. Right? Because they're the Y generation. And you can question and why, but as long as you do the work. You get what I'm saying? Because those questions will go away over time, because they'll start to get the payoff for the work. The problem is when you question and then you consciously refuse to do the work.
And then add to that, you become cancerous.
Right? And I was about to say, they're the best recruiters. Yeah, they're the guys that go around and look. It's like they look for...
Yeah, like-minded.
They look for just a situation that might be a glimmer, right? So just say I was a cancerous person in the locker room, but I'm not going to class. I'm not really finishing the workouts. I'm not, eating my meals. I'm not hitting my benchmarks, right? But you and Strick won't know it, but I'm not doing it. So my position on the team is starting to go away, or I'm losing the grip on it, right? But the conversation piece is the coach, the scheme, he don't like me, dog. You're
grading bad too.
Right.
You graded bad, all that.
Right. But the conversation. But Austin
is
on the other side of the ball might not know it. Now, here's what Austin's situation might be. He might just be coming back slow off a hamstring injury, high ankle sprain, hip pointer, but he's just, say he was at, starter or number 2, but then the reps aren't there because he's not healthy enough. Well, then I recruit Austin because he's vulnerable.
See,
and that's where you got to get
happens.
it. But then to alleviate that or get that out of your locker room, that's where Strickland comes in.
Yeah,
that either confronts me, or you go around me and you go right to Austin. So look, dude, I seen this. This is what needs to happen.
Jay, that right there is exactly what I told people about our turnaround after losing 11 straight games.
Right.
That whatever we gonna do in here is gonna happen right now. We either gonna box, we gonna whatever. But when we leave out of here,
we walk out here with black eyes. We together though.
That's fact.
Right. And that's and sometimes you have to have those. Yeah. And adversity and friction, I think, is good. And I think when you use it the right way and you have enough people that are okay with it or willing to embrace it, you come out and then it's a building block as well. Then the standards that way.
No doubt.
Longevity.
No doubt.
So.
Great early National Signing Day show, Strick. You have a good call tonight, my man. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Plenty more coming up on Old School with Jay. A couple great guests, couple former Huskers on tap. Stay tuned for that. Thanks to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring On the Block. Thanks to Members Owned Credit Union for sponsoring our coverage of the early National Signing Day. Again, a couple former Huskers join one next during Old School.
You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of early National Signing Day, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When we're building homes for people, we're really trying to advise on the things that are going to create value so that when they go to sell it, they're going to have equity so that they can go build their second
and
home.
then you get injured
Bob
again.
Benish of Aspen
Right in the
Builders,
beginning of the season.
and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
The year has been a great year for Aspen Builders. We have had many repeat customers. We've been very blessed with great office staff, with great employees, and great subcontractors. We worked with a lot of new people building their dream home. We've built some great relationships. A lot of those relationships will continue. We'll be building them another new home down the road. So I'd like to take this time to wish all of our past customers and our future customers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Experience flexibility like never before with Ace Rent-to-Own. Whether you're decorating a new home or upgrading your electronics, they provide easy payment plan options that suit your budget. No credit checks, no hefty interest rates, just straightforward renting solutions designed with you in mind. Find great options to make a beautifully furnished space or surround yourself with the latest gadgets. With Ace Rent-To-Own, it's all within your grasp. Visit acerenttown.com and bring home more than just a product. Bring home a lifestyle.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied.